People don't know their mandate, so they are jealous of other people. If your mandate is to be an intercessor, why are you troubled about the person traveling from nation to nation? It will not even get your attention because it's not part of your script. The reason you can be jealous about what somebody else is doing is because you don't know the one you are called to do. If God calls me to sleep, why will I be bothered about the person dancing? If God calls me to intercede, why will I be bothered about the person who is on every flyer? The reason you find jealousy, backbiting, evil in church is because mandates are not known. So people want to do everything. If God tells you your place is at the back, naturally the desire to stay at the front will die, because you know that's not where you were sent to. But when people don't know their mandate, then there will be a problem. Remember, we are using Abraham, Moses, Paul, and Jesus as case studies. You have seen that all of them had encounters before they started. You would also see that every one of them had definite mandates from God. For Abraham, the Bible said to him in Genesis 12, God now showed him the mandate. It said, I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thee great, and thou shalt be a blessing. So Abraham knows that his mandate is to become a nation. It's on the strength of that understanding that made Abraham live the kind of life he lived. When Abraham wanted to bury his wife, they offered to give him a burial ground for free. He refused. Because he's building a nation. He doesn't want the people to come tomorrow and begin to fight assets with his children. He knew his mandate. When Abraham wanted his son to get married, he told Eliezer to ensure that they don't get a wife from him among these people. He said to send him back to his father's land and get a wife from among his people, because he didn't want corruption. He didn't want mixture. He knew God was doing something and he will need a pure breed to sustain it. So the marriages of Abraham and his children was informed based on the mandate. Why? I will make of thee a great nation. If he marries from the nation around, or if his sons marry from the nation around, they will make those hidden nations too great. So the mandate informed their marriages. The mandate informed their lifestyle and the way they did business. Don't dash me your land. No, I will pay for it. What is the what? He measured it and paid. When Abraham went to the battle of the kings in Genesis 14 and destroyed 4 kings, the king of Sodom came to give him the spoils. He said, I will not take even a latchet from you, lest you say you made Abraham rich. The man knew that God brought him to make a nation. That mandate informed everything Abraham did. You think you are a preacher? If you know you are a witness, before you preach one message, you will sit down until God talks to you. Because you know for you, it's not Bible study. When you talk, you are moving a generation to another dispensation. You have not known your mandate. That's why you can do what every other person is doing. When the new hairstyle come out, you are the first to model it. When they bring new fashion, they are tearing their jean. When they see you on Monday, your jean is torn with a very big canvas, and then you are walking like this. Why? Because when you come, you can read the Bible. If you know your mandate, you will know it's not about reading the Bible. You will know you are an oracle. You bring the oracles of God to a generation. And people who are able to carry the oracles of God, they hide in the secret place until the shadow of the Almighty comes upon them. And sometimes for you to be able to touch that shadow, it will take 1 week. So you may stay indoors for 5 days to preach one message, because you are not a Bible teacher. You are not a theologian. You are a witness to a generation. Only your mandate can confer such bodies on your heart. You find people loafing around and calling themselves ministers. It's because they don't know their mandate. A man like Abraham cannot afford to be careless around family, because he knows that God have raised him to what? Become a great nation. And he knows the tributary through which that nation can be formed will be through family. What was the mandate of Moses? Get down to Egypt. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go, that they may worship me. Exodus 5 verse 1. Exodus 7 verse 16. Exodus 8 verse 1. Exodus 9 verse 1. Is it that Moses doesn't have any other message? The mandate will determine what you preach. You don't preach because there's so much to say. You preach because your mandate will give you a message for your generation. Have you seen men who truly make impact in life? Billy Graham preached salvation and the cross for more than 68 years of ministry. Bishop David Oyedepo is preaching faith for more than 40 years in ministry. The mandate is what determines the kind of message you preach. I know there are many messages that are appealing, but when you find a mandate, that mandate will become a burden in your spirit. Your life and your communication will communicate that mandate. When you see people who don't have specific direction, they've not found a mandate. When you find people who you can't define them, they've not found a mandate. And they may be very charismatic, they may be very creative, but they are not ministers of God. Because when God puts a mandate on your life, that mandate will shape you. It will become a burden in your spirit. Jeremiah said, his word was in my bone as fire. Even if he didn't want to, that fire won't let him rest. And so everywhere he goes to, the fire pushes him to utter those oracles. When you see people who don't have mandate, they can't affect their generation, because they cannot create impact enough to change things in the territory. Today they say one thing, tomorrow they say another thing. Today they live one lifestyle, tomorrow they live another lifestyle. There's no mandate. Every minister that satisfies the call has a mandate, and he sits on that mandate. You can't go to a ministry and then you don't find what God is saying. God told me to raise sons that can bear his burdens, to raise priests that can advance his will and his kingdom, and to raise kings that can exercise his government and reign in life. Any day you hear my message, a body must come on you. Even if I'm teaching on prosperity, somewhere, somehow, a body, I must put something in your spirit that will make you go to seek God. If you hear it, you will assume you have not started. What have I been doing? The idea is to put a burden in your heart to go to seek God. And so even if I'm talking about marriage, it will result in a body. That mandate becomes a body. It flows out of you as a message. It flows out of you as a life. If you know this, competition will die. Because you can come here and prophesy, and it will be as if you are prophesying with razor blade. You will not see me come here and try to say, come, your name is Gideon, your name is Martha. It's not in my mandate. But when I talk, you will leave that meeting and you will seek God for the next 3 months. So if somebody is prophesying, I'm excited. I stand up, I clap, I jump up, I'm happy that people have been delivered. But it doesn't take anything from me. You see somebody doing well in his mandate, and then you lose your sleep. You are rolling on the bed. Can you imagine? This man now is raising crutches. I've never seen any crutches. So you now go for a miracle service, urgent miracle service, and you are lifting the crutches, but the person is not yet walking. You want the crutches to appear on camera so that you too, you are a criminal. I'm telling you why men are bringing reproach to the name of God. If God says you are a teacher, sir, somebody can raise the dead. Celebrate God. When you finish, sit down, carry your tools, and begin to open the Bible. When you are done teaching, go home. Because your report card is not with the congregation. Your report card is in heaven. No man can mark it. And men can clap you out of destiny. And men can choose not to clap, but because of your mandate, even though men despise you, you will walk into glory. And the angels will rise up to celebrate your arrival.